Hello, so Fish Hater 27 has been begging me to do a review on this CVA Wolf, so I figured why not. Today's the day. We're in mid-May 2026, and I got done with my hunting season this past season, 25-26 season, and man, I had terrible luck. Terrible luck. I didn't get a doe. My freezer was empty, right? And I missed doe season. I was just so busy with the business, and we build Cummins engines and stuff. I was so busy at the time, I just couldn't get away. And so by the time I got out, I had missed doe season, and all the good bucks, hell, all the legal bucks had been taken already. So it was hell. I probably hit the stand 30 times, and I was empty-handed. I got, other than some hogs, this is Texas, so it's whitetail and hogs. I did put some hogs in the freezer, but yeah, no venison. And it was, I can't tell you how discouraging it was, or how disheartening it was to not get any venison in my freezer after being that dedicated and everything. And yeah, it killed me. So I had never messed with a muzzleloader before. In fact, I didn't think highly of them. I didn't know much about them, to be honest with you. It just seemed like some kind of kinky form of hunting or gun ownership. I truly did not understand why they were even a thing until we got to the end of the season. I believe it was January 4th was the last day this year, and my last time out was January 3rd, and I realized the muzzleloader season in Texas is 2 weeks after that, so it was like the 5th to the 18th or whatever. You get 2 extra weeks, and does are back on the table, and every time I went out I would see does. They weren't in season. And I do follow the laws, So I'm sitting in the deer stand. As soon as it got dark, too dark to shoot, I pulled up my phone, found that on muzzleloader.com. It was the cheapest possible muzzleloader I can get my hands on. It was $230, no scope or anything, $230, and I ordered it right there on the spot, and I expedited the shipping. First thing I noticed is, hey, you don't have to have an FFL. This is cool. They ship it right to my doorstep. Well, it came in. First thoughts, I let the trigger loose a few times. I was extremely pleased with the trigger. It's a little hard to mess up something like this. Of course, it's going to have a decent trigger by design. But, whatever. Honestly, out of my rifles, that's probably my favorite trigger right there. Great trigger. That was just my first impression, and I was kind of checking it out and trying to see how well made it was. It was very solid, I didn't think it was going to shoot worth a damn. I thought it was maybe 5-6 inch groups at 100 is what I was thinking it would do, right? But I did note that it was quite a seemingly well built product. Yeah. So the only other thing I did is I bought this rail for like $10 on Amazon, actually. And then I had a old VX, what is it again? VX1. So it's an old VX1 3-9x40 Leopold, just a basic scope, no frills. Threw it on there with some Leopold rings I had laying around. And I went with the Hornady XTP 44 cal Sabo. I believe these are 225 grain. Uses a plastic Sabo since that's a 50 cal rifle. This is what I was able to get my hands on, the 50-30, so 30 grain pellets, and I was using 3 of those, so I was loading it at 90 grain, and I killed 3 deer with this thing. Perfect kills. Perfect performance, full pass through, very good ballistics. One of them was at 150 yards, quartering. Okay, it was about 42 inches of penetration, and it still had an exit wound. And yeah, this thing saved my deer season. I put meat in the freezer. I got 3 deer in the freezer, and that was all in one weekend. It was quite amazing. And group wise, I could not believe it. I was shocked at how accurate this thing was. It was about 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches. Is pretty much, no matter what, that's my average group size every time. And I'm a reloader, I'm not going to say I'm the most avid reloader there is, but I take it seriously, and it's all about accuracy and precision. I mean, I single stage everything. All of my 223, I single stage it. I measure to the nearest hundredth of a grain. You know, I'm very anal about doing whatever I can to get precision out of my rigs. And I'll tell you, at this point, if I had to pick up anything out of the blue, right, just pick a gun up off of this wall and take it hunting, I'm actually going to pick that. It depends on what kind of hunting, right? Hog hunting, I need that AR, or a bolt gun. I need those follow-up shots, because they're usually in groups. But if I'm going to go game hunting, I'm actually going to gravitate to that. I'm talking like regular rifle season. I'm probably going to take that out on opening day. I'm serious. Like, that's how impressed I am with the thing and how consistent its performance has been for me. Now, most all of my stuff is going to be, within 150 yards. And I would go out to 200 with that if I had to. Man, it's just, this isn't the most formal review I can give you, I know, but man, I've got zero complaints. I say that. I got one recommendation. Spend the extra $20 or $30 and just get the stainless steel version. Do yourself a big favor. Get the stainless steel version. This thing fouls up really quickly. In fact, and it's very humid where I'm at. I'm north of Houston, and it's so humid. Every single time I clean this and set it back up on this rack, I'll come back a week or two later, and there's just rust all inside of the barrel. So I actually had to change my cleaning method, or I said my cleaning method's the same. I'm actually putting gear oil, from like these transmissions I rebuild, these manuals. I'm actually soaking a cloth in legitimate gear oil, like 75-90 gear oil, and then running that through my barrel. In fact, it's been sitting there for about 2 weeks since I did that last. Let's take the breech plug out and see how it held up. Focus. So yeah, pretty good. I guess that was the final solution. So yeah, there you have it. Bottom line, I am astonished for what I got for that amount of money. It just never ceases to blow my mind. Every time I look over here and I see this thing, I just can't wrap my mind around how I was able to purchase that for the amount of money I did and how effective it was. And for the type of hunting I mostly do down here, where my maximum line of sight where I hunt is about 350 yards, but I position the stand where the activity is. And with that said, it's pretty much all within 150, 200 max. And in that range, if that's your max range, I mean, how are you going to go wrong with something that does 1.5 inches at 100, let's call it 1.5 inches, even though I've done less than that. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, it's 100% deadly if you're not screwing up and, if you're doing your job. If you can't ethically, effectively take an animal inside of about like that, a 3-inch group, then I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something wrong at that point. So anyways, buy one. Get the stainless version though. Definitely get that stainless version.